Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am a guest designer for Paper Sweeties and she has sent me some beautiful dies and stamps. And this is the Sophie stamp with a coffee set stamp as well. Today I'll be making a tag, so I'm just using Tim Holtz cardstock tag. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and add some distress ink to the tag just as a background. And I like to begin on the outsides of the tag, that way there's more depth and texture on the tag. This is a super cute stamp and die set from Paper Sweeties, and I'll leave the information linked down below. Okay, so I went ahead and distressed the tag, and now I'm just going to ruffle up the edges there, add a little bit more dimension. Alright, so now that the back of the tag is finished, I'm going to take just a regular piece of cardstock and stamp that Sophie girl stamp on there. I'm just using a regular acrylic block to do that. And what I like to do is take the cardstock and put it up on top of the stamp. I feel like I get a better impression than pushing on the stamp onto the cardstock, if that makes any sense. I'm using Stays On ink because it's permanent, and I will be using watercolors to paint Sophie here in a little bit. And my craft table isn't that sturdy, so I decided to go ahead and do that impression the opposite way. I got a pretty good impression. I'm pretty happy with that. And now I am going to stamp the little coffee cup and a sentiment that says, "I hope this perks you up." And I'm just going to use Stays On ink as well, and I'll cut these out by hand. Fussy cut these. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is grab my Cuddle Bug, and I'm going to go ahead and die cut that Sophie stamp. Okay, so now that I've die cut the Sophie stamp and fussy cut my sentiments, I am going to use my Jane Davenport watercolors to color Sophie. And even though this is regular cardstock, I noticed that the Jane Davenport watercolors worked very well. I didn't have really any issues with it. Sometimes I use a medium over top before, but this time I just went for it, and I think she turned out really cute. Okay, so now I'm just finishing up the portion of Sophie, and this is a little bit darker than what I was expecting, so I'm just taking my paper towel and dabbing and making it a little bit lighter, just giving her a light flesh color. Okay, and so now I'm just going to paint her boots. I thought this was a really cute boot set. I did cut one side a little bit shorter than I wanted to, but I still think they look really cute on her. Okay, so now that I have her all colored up, I'm going to use some of Paper Sweetie's adorable flower confetti. I'm just going to pick out a few that I want to attach to the tag to add a little bit more pizzazz, I guess you could say. I love these colors. They're super vibrant and very shimmery. And then I'm going to also use some sari ribbon that Debbie had sent to me. And it is so soft and it works perfect for tags. I don't have any issues. Some ribbons are a little bit more difficult to tie and, you know, make look really pretty, but this one is gorgeous. So now I'm just adding her boots. I just hot glued those. All right, so now I'm just going to use some of my double-sided dimensional squares to put Sophie on this tag. And I have the smaller squares and the larger ones. I decided to go with the smaller ones. And so I'm just going to add her to the tag. I like the dimension that this gives. And these are very sturdy. These are from Tuesday Morning. I can't remember the name of them, but they work great. I've never had any issues with things falling off. And right here I decided I wanted to make it look like there was some coffee splatters. So I just took my water brush and just dabbed some water on there, and with Distress ink it reacts. And then I just pick it up with my paper towel. It's very subtle, but I think it looks really cute. Okay, so now that I have my Sentiment and Sophie attached to my tag, I'm going to take my hot glue gun and this Pick Me Up silhouette pen. It has like tacky substance at the bottom and it really helps pick up sequins and stuff. I just purchased this at Hobby Lobby a few days ago. And so I'll just add a little hot glue to each sequin. And it works really well. And I think the hot glue for me works a lot better than some other glues, and hot glue doesn't have a reaction to the Distress ink like a wet glue would, so that's another reason why I chose this one. So I'm just going to continue adding the sequins. All right, now that I'm finished adding the sequins, I am going to go ahead and grab the sari ribbon, and I'm going to add that to the top of the tag. You can put reinforcers on top if you want to. I decided not to on this one. These are really sturdy tags from Tim Holtz. so I didn't feel the need to do that. And I just love how that sari ribbon looks on that tag. Kind of wrinkly, but super cute at the same time. And now I'm going to go ahead and add the coffee cup. And I wanted to make it look like there was coffee in there, so I just took my distress ink that I had on that little pad there and added a little bit at the top to make it look like there was coffee. And then I went ahead and darkened up the coffee mug a little bit. I think the black adds a little bit of contrast to the tag since the other colors are light and subtle. And this marker here is an Indian ink, so it is permanent once you seal it with a glaze. I didn't do that on this coffee mug. And then I was going to use that Tim Holtz medium, but then I decided to use a dimensional just because Sophie is on a dimension, and I thought that would look a little bit cuter. Alright, so my tag is completed, and I hope you all enjoyed this short little tutorial. Again, guest designing for Paper Sweeties, and she has a Facebook group and a website. I will link all that down below. And I hope you all have a great day.